Hi, Anna Scheller here, looking forward to spending time with you for the next few minutes talking about some sales tips that I believe are going to help you. These two areas I'm going to be talking about have to do with areas that most people struggle with when it comes to sales, but it's really not that difficult. At the end of the video, I'm going to invite you to sign up for my webinar, free webinar next week, where we're going to go into more depth about these two processes that are probably stopping you from making more money. Thank you for joining me on the replay. I'm so glad to have you with me. Now, what are these two processes that most people are uncomfortable with when it comes to sales? Recently, I was speaking to a young lady, and she was telling me how she loves to help people, but when it comes for the money, she ends the conversation and she moves on. And the problem is not that she's unique, but that most of us are very much like her. We get uncomfortable when it comes to wanting to talk to people about money. And a lot of times, it's a couple of things that hold us back. So, for example, most of us are uncomfortable when someone says, well, I can't afford it, or I need to think about it, or I need to talk to my business partner. Those are what we call objections. And the last thing we ever want to do is argue with someone to try to twist their arm into making them buy from us, right? Well, you don't have to do that. There are amazing techniques to answer people's concerns about moving forward with a purchase that are not salesy, they're not pushy, they're not in any way difficult to work with, and you're not going to make the person uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, one of these is simply to acknowledge the person's discomfort, acknowledge their concern, and agree with them. Even if you don't agree with them, you can say something to the effect of, I can see your point. That is a really important thing to be considering. And then what you do is you ask them to tell you more about the challenge they're having. Using that information, you bring them back to something they've told you that they really want, and then you ask for the order again. But we're going to go into some of those things on our webinar here on Tuesday. The other thing people get very uncomfortable with is that they're afraid to follow up. Now, I think that stems from when we were kids, you know? We wanted something and mom said, I'll get back with you. And 10 minutes later, we went back and we said, Mommy, can I have it? And mom said, leave me alone. I'll let you know when I'm done. And then you went back, and the third or fourth time, mom got real upset because you were so persistent. And so we carry that image into the sales conversation, and we think that our customers are feeling the same way. Well, let me tell you something. Follow-up is the key to making more sales. People appreciate knowing that you are going to follow up with them. They like it. And they like you. It makes them feel special. And you can let them know in advance. You know, part of my job is to follow up until you've come to a decision. Now, if at any time you feel like that's not working for you, or I feel that way, we can call each other out on it. You see, you've brought the elephant in the room into perspective. You've both agreed to talk about the follow-up, and it gives you permission to continue following up with the client. You know, it takes 5 to 7 times before a client will even act on something that we've told them. Don't warm somebody up by following up and then quitting so that the next salesperson comes along and takes your sale. No way. Want to follow up until you get a decision. And following up, you just never know what happens in people's lives. I had some things happen in my life recently where I couldn't follow up with anyone who was trying to contact me. It was weeks before I could let them know that I had been in the hospital, had surgery, and I had been convalescing. You never, ever know what people are going through, and you can offer that opportunity as a way of showing that you care. Now, if objection handling and follow-up are a couple of the areas that you seem to really need a little help in, I want to encourage you, sign up for my free webinar. It costs you nothing but 45 minutes of your time, and it's time well spent. You want to grow yourself, spend some time with me. Let me share with you some ways that you can work through objections and get that follow-up so that you can close more sales. I want to thank you for joining me. Have a magnificent day, and I will put in the comments the link so that you can go and you can sign up for the webinar. Don't hesitate. You will be glad that you did. Take care.